What's going on, guys? Trev back again. Here to bring you another video. This video is going to be doing my video predictions for The Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 11, I Ain't a Judas. Alright, so as usual, we have three new clips, sort of like trailer previews. We have the new promo and two sneak peeks for next week's episode, and I'll put the links to them in the description so you can go ahead and watch them online. And the plot for this episode reads, Rick and the group are forced to make a decision now that their safety is no longer guaranteed. Andrea feels uncomfortable now that Woodbury has become a police state. And it does show co-stars as Tyler Chase as Ben, Travis Love as Schubert, Daniel Thomas May as Alan, E. Roger Mitchell as Paul. So Ben is one of Tyrese's group, is he not? So maybe we'll see the return of them in this episode, although I wouldn't go just by that, just because it says that there in the wiki, because that may or may not be accurate. In the previews, we certainly don't see anything to do with Tyrese's group. At some point, they have to return. Will it be this episode or the next one? I don't know. I mean, the co-stars being there, at least a couple of them, it makes sense that maybe they would come back in this episode, but you can't go just by that since we don't see anything in the previews at all. But yeah, a lot of people were talking about, what happened to them and everything, and I guess Robert Kirkman said in The Talking Dead, I haven't seen the episode of The Talking Dead yet, been too busy making videos, but that they have left the prison at this point, so they're no longer there, which I guess makes sense because we haven't seen them anywhere, and if we don't see them at the beginning of this week's episode, i.e. in Judas, obviously they didn't hear the gunfire, so they wouldn't be in the immediate vicinity. However, if they are sort of in the woods or heading outward, I mean, all that gunfire could be heard from a long ways away, and all the, the truck and everything, all of that. So they may head back, and we may see them at some point in this episode coming up. Or, we do have 6 episodes left this season, so there is plenty of time for them to come back afterwards. So I'm sure at some point we'll see them return, because there are a few clips in the promo for the second half of Season 3 where Tyrese says that, we'll fight with you. And I don't think that same clip was in the 2 episodes ago where he was talking to Rick. I don't remember. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I tend to think that obviously they'll be back. They wouldn't introduce them and all that just to have Rick flip out on them, tell them no, and have them leave and not come back. I assume they will come back for sure, because we do need more characters, especially if a lot are going to be dying off here and there, getting killed, and bitten by zombies and all that. So it makes sense they will come back. Although I don't think it'll be this episode, but we'll have to wait and see. So the 3 previews that we have, the first one is the promo, which was shown at the end of this episode. There isn't too much in it. A couple little things. There's got the quick clip of Carl telling Rick that he doesn't think he should be the leader anymore, which also sneak peek number 2 is more in-depth of that, and he basically says that he thinks that Rick should let Daryl and Herschel, handle things at this point and make the decisions. So I like the look on Andrew Lincoln's face after he tells him that. But he did make him promise not to get mad, so I guess it's fair game if he said that beforehand. So then in the promo we have a clip of Andrea. She's talking with the governor, saying that she wants to go see them, and him saying that if you go there, stay there. From the previews, we do know that she does go there at the very least. What happens after that, I guess we'll have to see. Will she stay or not? I don't know. Kind of hard to say. I think she probably would be going back, because there's certain things that that were also in the preview that we haven't seen yet, like her with the knife, seemingly deciding whether or not to kill the governor or not. So I assume she would probably in this episode or the next one, probably this one, go to the prison, at least see them, see how that turns out, and then maybe return to Woodbury afterwards. I don't know, though, because it does look like when she's escaping that, like in the promo here, that she's actually having to fight her way through a bunch of walkers. So it's not like she has the governor's approval to go, I don't think, anyway. I don't think she, well, obviously he said that if you go there, stay there. So obviously she's going to have to escape. She's not going to be let go there on her own accord. She's going to have to jump the fence or whatever and get over there on her own. She's not going to have any support for that. Then we have Carol telling Daryl that he's your brother, but he's not good for you. And that yeah, I mean, it's true. He's not a good person, that's for sure. But they do need the manpower right now because they are really lacking manpower against the governor. So regardless, as long as Merle doesn't turn suit, because he can't really be trusted, per se. And obviously from the sneak peek number 2, where Merle is talking about who you're dealing with, if he thinks that's what's going to happen with the governor, then he may be more liable in the future, in the next few episodes, to sort of turn on them and maybe, I don't know, stab him in the back or something, or run away from the prison or get out of there and go back to the governor and try to get back to Woodbury again. But granted, his brother is here, so whether or not that happens, I guess we'll see. Will be interesting to see where his loyalties lie. So there's that. Herschel tells Rick to get back here, which we've seen before, but now it's more extended, and tells him to do something. That he has to make a decision. They got to figure something out, what they're going to do. That probably relates back to the description in the plot where it says Rick and the group are forced to make a decision now that their safety is no longer guaranteed. So probably the decision it's referring to is most likely whether or not they're going to stay there or they're going to leave. If they're going to run or they're going to stay there and try to defend the prison and hold up the fort, so to speak. So we'll see what happens with that. Based on, there's a couple preview pictures just of the group standing outside what looks like the fence, all with guns and stuff. So I assume from that probably means they're going to make a stand. I don't think they're going to run away. And if they go along with the storyline in the comic books, then they're definitely not going to run away and just leave the prison. Because granted, they did put in a hell of a lot of work to get it, and it is in terms of like walkers, it is a really safe place to be at. One of the safest you're going to find, with stockpile of food and all that other stuff. And they did have a lot of trouble getting it, so I don't think they would naturally want to give it up that easily. Next clip we see in the promo is a car being driven up to Woodbury, and essentially them telling him it's far enough. And who that is, we don't know. I mean, it could be Andrea, maybe on her way back or something. Could be Rick wanting to discuss things with the governor. I don't know. Could be Glenn, or I guess we'll have to see. The car, I don't recognize the car from anywhere at all. Could be Tyrese's group? No, probably not. I don't think that would really make sense. It'd have to be either Andrea or somebody from Rick's group. Then we have Andrea. She's got a walker leading her into the prison, and going to see them, obviously, as the governor told her not to. Then we have Rick and the guys running out. We don't know if they're running out towards Andrea or if it's somebody else or something else that's going on, but Daryl is there with them. And I think Merle is too, although I can't see too well. It's pretty damn small. I think it's Merle in the background. Pretty sure. Yeah, that's Merle. Okay, cool. And then we have Merle. He's getting ready for war. He's taping up his one-handed, weapon, bayonet, if you want to call it that, which is cool, which looks similar to the same scene as where he's talking with Herschel. Then you have Andrea, and she's killing a walker with, what is it, a gun or something like that. So obviously it sounds like she's not in a car, so she's going to be maybe running away from Woodbury to try and to go see the group at the prison. So pretty interesting stuff. That's really all the previews and descriptions we have at this point. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if it's going to be better than last week's episode was. Episode 10 home was, man, that was one of the best episodes of The Walking Dead we've ever had. Especially the ending. Like, the first part of it was good and everything, good character development, but then the ending was like, wow, that was the most tense action I think we've seen in probably the whole series yet. So I'm really looking forward to next week's episode. Hopefully we see the whole thing with Andrea start to unfoil, and a lot of people are really hating her as a character at this point, kind of referring to her as a second Laurie. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, that's my predictions. I'm looking forward to another great episode. Hopefully, even if it's not as good as Home, if it's at least half as good, I'll be happy, because that episode was bananas. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about the episode coming up, and any predictions we'll talk about in the comments. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev, saying peace.